There's good news in the world, because if we're about to be wiped out as a species in a ball of nuclear destruction, at least it's heartening to know that it's going to be caused by two of the most ridiculous people that ever lived. Usually in science fiction stories where the world comes to an end, it's caused by ferocious dictators standing on tanks making megalomaniac speeches about power and empire. But this time it's going to be like being wiped out by Keith Chegwin and the bloke of the Go Compare advert. It's as if we found out that the dinosaurs actually got wiped out, not when a huge meteor struck the Earth, but because a clumsy stegosaurus got his fin caught in a tree and all the other dinosaurs in the world tripped over him and couldn't get back up again. The Trump team are really good at the threats, so Trump's Defence Secretary, James Mattis, said that if the North Koreans don't comply with American demands, they face the total destruction of their people and the end of their regime. That's really hard line, isn't it? Not only are they going to wipe out the entire population, they're also going to make sure the regime stops as well, in case the North Koreans sneakily try to carry on their regime, despite having no people left, by putting squirrels in charge. The North Koreans retaliated by saying, I quote, "This is extremely getting on the nerves of the artillerymen of the army." So this is another aspect of our annihilation we can look forward to. The North Korean press statements in this nuclear destruction are going to resemble the instructions you get when you buy a Korean kettle. The North Koreans will issue an ultimatum to US forces that go, place army unit persons here and there, but not here but there, to prevent engaging loading unit with exploding bomb sprocket D. Trump's speech talked about fire and fury and a devastating onslaught, the likes of which the world has never seen. This isn't political conflict. This is two cage fighters advertising their next fight in the press conference. Next week, Trump and Kim Jong-un will be sat behind a desk wearing shades, and suddenly Trump will get up and go, "I'm going to whack your ass, North Korean fat boy. Your north side ain't ever going to see your south side again. You're going to be split across every single one of your 38 parallels, you pussy." And Kim Jong-un will reply, "When we place bombing model D to radio action sprinkle Alaska destroyment, smile C wiped off orange face F." And then security guards will hold the pair of them back while a voice tells us, "It's going to be Judgment Day, £11.95, pay-per-view." In Trump's defence, many people have been complaining that he hasn't been behaving up until now like a proper president, but by threatening a war just as his popularity plummets, it seems as if he is learning what you're supposed to do. But of course, to be properly presidential, he would have to actually have the war against North Korea for not scrapping its missiles, and then it would have to turn out they didn't have any in the first place. He's even learning the presidential trick of being furious about people he describes as evil when a few months ago he wasn't bothered about their existence at all. In fact, before the election, he even complained that the US was spending money on bases in South Korea and getting nothing back. To be fair, it sounds as if he's a bit confused as to why a country has military bases at all, as if he was going to call the army in and tell them, "We've been funding all your aeroplanes and guns for 50 years and not once have you shown a profit. Put a golf course on that aircraft carrier or we're shutting you down." One of the difficulties is that because the US in the past has told so many stories to justify wars, there's no way of knowing how much of what they say about North Korea's weapons is true. So in April, Trump said he was sending an armada to North Korea, which he said was very powerful, very powerful. But then it turned out it was facing the other way and sailing away from North Korea, which I'm not a military expert, but that's not quite as threatening, is it? Makes you think that if Trump was in charge of the D-Day landings, he'd have got all the boats assembled and then told the Navy to pick all the boats up and carry them inland to Croydon. Maybe he'll do this in a nuclear war. He'll just put out a tweet that goes, "Bad dictators, very bad. We launch big explosions, amazing, fabulous," and then blow up a cat's home in Florida. The Pentagon has also told us that the North Korean missiles are not quite ready yet, but will be by the middle of the month. So what, in a couple of days, what, are they just varnishing them and putting in a digital radio and an air freshener because they've ordered the deluxe model? And from what news we've received, half the North Korean missiles are duds. They can probably only be used if they're put in a milk bottle at the end of the garden. When Trump first became president, he said, "I would be happy to meet one-on-one with Kim Jong-un." And this must be our hope, that they agree to do this. And organise a swap. So every 6 months, we in the West get Kim Jong-un and North Korea gets Trump. And then they keep swapping about like that, and we'll never know the difference, and we can all live in peace.